Alright, so real quick I wanted to just start off by showing you this. Anybody who's watched my podcast has seen this one down here. This is from Financial Sorcery and the Sorcerer's Secret by Jason Miller. I've used this one many times, from anything from $50 to $400 to $1,000, even $10,000, although the $10,000 times I've gotten, I've only done this one time, but it was in conjunction with a visualization from a separate book and recordings, and basically stacking all the magics that I knew at that time, conjunction with writing not exactly how I wanted it to happen, but why I wanted it to happen. But so for the purposes of making a sigil on a piece of paper, whether it's that brown paper I was showing you earlier or otherwise, and the reason why this is important is depending on, because this is for in case for some reason you don't have a candle you can use. And me, all you have is a birthday candle, so unless you can draw really small, it might be hard to put that sigil on there, but you can make that pretty tiny. You can really just write, I will be the sum of $400, harm-free. Someone would be magical name, but that might be hard to get on a birthday candle as well, but it would work nonetheless if you can manage to do it. So, but the purpose I'm trying to do here is to shorten your statement of intent to get it on a very small piece of wax. Like, let's say, for example, your last candle you did was in something like this, and you have the wax inside and the wax around the edge. Well, I know I can make that. I know I can make that sigil appear on that, and then that's where your, whether you want to call it a cauldron or whatever you want, but that little pot, that ceramic pot I just showed you I have, that won't catch fire. It will get hot, so make sure you have it on a wood surface or something cloth if you're putting it on something, maybe something that won't burn. But I know I can get that amount of that on a piece of wax like that. And this is something I recently, I was using the tall pillar candles, not like the big double pillars anyways, and then I didn't have a candle holder to put it in because they were all being used. It was during a windstorm, and I wanted to give a candle to the elements and the archangels, the watchers, the elementals, to basically protect my home, so nothing would happen to my home during that last windstorm. Meaning, like, I have a basketball net and I had two 40-pound weights on it, but between the weight of the basketball net, if the wind was faster than maybe 40 kilometers per hour or 80 kilometers per hour, that could maybe topple over that and hit my new vehicle. So anyways, I had to put an extra one in there, and nothing ended up happening to my house. Even my 4 garbage and recycle bins that were outside didn't even blow away, and they were kind of out in the open, which you could be like, why were you so lazy, why didn't you move it? That could have been your action towards your manifestation of nothing bad happening. And absolutely, but I was busy doing magic and other things with the family, and you don't always have to do everything yourself. But anyway, so point is, I used a shot glass actually. I put a bunch of salt in the shot glass, creature of salt, creature of water, basically removing any energies that was used out of that, because different alcoholic spirits might have been poured in there. People's energies could have been, people getting angry while they're drinking. But anyways, this is definitely something I can use to put, the sigil on this part of it, and then on the back, I believe someone would be harm-free, Corey LeBlanc, magical name, magical sigil. There's definitely enough on there. If I go around the edge and go into the center like a circle, and then put that sigil for drawing money on that side, and then from there, I would toss it in something like this. But the good part about doing your the good part about doing firstly your your sigil and statement of intent on a couple pieces of paper, like so. So I ripped off this piece as one, as one from the big piece I showed you prior. So one of these is going to be statement of intent, and what I'm going to use to take all the vowels out and double consonants out, and then the other one will be to actually put this sigil here down on it, and write I will the Humphrey, so mote it be. Now you got two options at this point. You can, with your statement of intent, add your magical name and your regular name as part of the statement of intent, and take out all the consonants and vowels. Now I have my own magical sigil, which I will not show you, that includes my magical name and a sigil, so I don't have to do that. But I'm not going to put any of that on camera. So if I don't show you the opposite side of one of these, it's because that information is on there. So I'll put all the other information on there. I will add I will be Humphrey, so mote it be into the magical sigil. Well, it just got darker all of a sudden. But you have the option of doing that or not doing that, and that's all up to you. Actually, for this purposes, I won't add that. I'll scratch that out. I'm going to write that on that little piece of wax I just showed you there. I'll put the front sigil. This is going to be the main sigil. Within this circle, I'm going to do the other sigil for the money. Now, for this drawing money sigil, all I was needed is to actually put the amount in there. But once again, you know, sigilizing your intent is always good. Whether you activate that or not, that's up to you. I don't feel I need to. Maybe I should just put $100 in there and then sigilize. Actually, maybe I won't even sigilize anything. I'll just carve on it today. I'm going to use this drawing. I'm sorry, I'm figuring this out as I go. I'm going to carve this onto that piece of wax. On the back, I'm going to just write I will leave someone to be, all my other stuff that I always say continuously, and then I'm going to light that bitch on fire. I'm going to use one of these to help also start the fire, and once this wax that's on here with the sigil and all that starts melting on this, you'll see how long this goes. It'll definitely go outlast the recording, and I'll leave it burn for you to see as I speak. And this other piece with your statement of intent, you can also burn with another piece of wax, which, if you can fit the same thing on here, and maybe you make a sigil this time without the for drawing money, you just write simply I will the I'm so grateful I continuously receive I don't know how much X amount of dollars weekly. I will the Humphrey, so mote it be. You know what I mean? Something like that, and it's the same amount you put on there. So then maybe you just got this to happen faster, and then this is starting to happen every week. Maybe it won't happen every week. Maybe it'll happen every month. Maybe it'll happen every year. But either way, you set that in motion, and Anyways, just those are just examples. But as I go, I'll probably fine tune it, and it'll get better and better and better, more elaborate. But the point of this is just to show you how you can do magic with simple things if you don't even have a candle. You know what I mean? Well, I honestly simply, in this day and age, I'm going to put some of this stuff over here for now. In this day and age, the waning and the waxing of the moon comes into effect. It comes into play here. But this is one of those pillar candles I'm talking about. This is the reason why I'm using these more than the big ones is simply because a 12 pack of these in white is like $4 to the dollar store, and then a 12 or a 15 pack of these black, and the only place I can get them right now in my town is at Michael's, and it's like fucking $12 something. So I keep it simple. I use just these, and I start off by making whatever, let's say it's Saturn, and then I'll write Saturn there. I might even write Anshar, which is the Mesopotamian name for Saturn, and then I might write Kronos for the Greek, Saturn being the Roman, and then maybe I even write Satan, the energy that people believe in Satan. Now I'm not calling on Satan, I'm not asking anything for Satan. When I write Satan down here, and it's not always, depending on what time, what's going on, and what I want, but I will write every name that's associated to whatever planetary or deity I'm calling on, so I get the most effect. See, and then if I was to write on here that I want someone to become ill, and I was making this to Satan, well then you can say maybe, what the fuck is worshipping demons? But if I'm asking for $100 to help pay my bills or feed my family, well, I'm simply getting all the energy that's been put into the name Satan by everybody. Even if it's fear, it doesn't matter, it's just energy. But even if it's fear, that energy I spin into currency, which is another energy. It's electricity, is not, but I turn it into financial currency. I'd say I extract the fear and I turn it into financial currency for myself. And you can always ask how that is, and I would refer you to Uncle Birch's channel, where he teaches how to use this. Now, this is not the greatest drawing of it, but this is Saturn right here. This is Mars' symbol. Kind of see, and down here is the moon. Now it's very hard to see right now. I wonder if I can make that better for you somehow. No, I'm making it worse. Alright. Sorry, it likes to autofocus. And in the middle you see Pluto within the triangle, and I have it within a square, which actually turned into a cube, but you can't really see that. That's with a different marker, because there's lots of other things written on here. And marker that only shows up in certain lights. Oh, magic marker, right? Magic. But anyways, I transform me. I will be, so would it be? I think this is harm-free, and that's my magical sigil. So anything done on this altar has the protection and the transformation within. And yes, there's extra steps you can do to activate this if you really need to prove to your mind that it's not simply just the sigil that does the work, but it all depends on how you program it into yourself and how to make it work. So anyways, so there's that sigil, if you still need it there. Now, there's a few more sigils on here that might be useful to anybody, and this way you can pause it and write these down or whatever. Don't know if you can see that or not. Give me a moment. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so. Alright, it's not going to focus now. Okay, so I don't want to risk breaking anything. But if you can see the sigils, then all I have to do is explain them to you. So the first one at the top, right there, underneath this is for entrepreneurial work. And the next one below it is for holding on to money. The next one below that is for finding a job. And the one that is to, I guess it would be to the left, but the one beside for drawing money sigil is for steady work. Okay, so these are all within that book I just spoke about. I've taken a picture of these. I've explained these in the podcast. Here's a few more. The one at the bottom is for pure luck. One above this, so this is for pure luck, as you can see. Now this one is for reversing bad luck. This one up here is for financial discipline, and the one at the very top under the squiggly lines that my daughter thought was appropriate to put in my book, and I was very upset, but she's a baby, so what can you do? This is for a promotion, basically, so this one. So if you can't see those well, I've given the PDF for this book as well on my podcast many times. If you look, you'd have to look towards the beginning, I believe, for these ones. But yeah, these are all sigils he gives in that book, and they've been very beneficial to me. Well, I haven't used them all. Pure luck and reversing luck definitely work. Financial discipline definitely works. I never used the for promotion one. I've used it for finding a job, and it's worked every single time. For holding on to money, I don't believe I've worked, or the entrepreneurial work one, I don't think I've ever used. But nonetheless, every other one works, so I have no reason to believe the other one doesn't work. Although reading the book would be helpful. And another thing I wanted to mention, because I forgot to mention last time, but another thing I wanted to mention real quick was, if you want to do magic within your mind, any magic just within your mind. Actually, I don't need this candle. I'm getting rid of this candle. If you want to do magic within your mind, if you want reject, banish, deny to work, well, reading the book of all the great work, self-transformation, putting it on at night to go to sleep to within your iBook, whatever, recording it so there's no pauses, it doesn't stop on you, will do a lot of benefit to programming your mind that stuff works. I have no doubt in my mind that that's one reason why my stuff works so good. Another good book to perform things within your mind to make it really work well is Franz Barden, Initiation to Hermetics, because within there it's a lot of it's mental magic without using any candles, without any sigils, none of that. It's taking care of your skin, taking off the extra layer of skin. Whenever you are eating your food, you are visualizing that what you're eating is somehow a gateway to getting your manifestation. So you bless your food for whatever you want. As I eat this food, I become more healthy, my cells, whatever you want. I remove illness, sickness from my body with every bite. So basically, you're invoking this food. You're taking